Guys, I just came back from watching FNAF 2 like many hours ago, obviously. And all I'm gonna say is enjoy the movie all you can because it was by far one of the best movies I've seen this year. I think if I'm gonna be honest, this has gotta be like my second most favorite video game movie. At first it's gonna be Sonic 3. Obviously, then that tops every single video game movie there is. But the night before I was gonna watch Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I was sent reviews and people were saying that it was horrible, and I was very worried about it because I thought maybe I wouldn't like it as well. But then I remembered that the YouTubers liked it, and sometimes I'm a very easy person to please, and I was right. The movie was absolutely fantastic. It was worth the 1 hour 44 minutes of my time, or however much time there was. Now I want to talk about a few major key points: the plot, and the beginning as well. Yeah, so the beginning, I was really shocked to see that when Charlie just went on the stage and screamed at everyone. The I don't think the kid was even dead. And William Afton, while he was chasing her, I thought maybe, okay, he's gonna expose Charlie's just gonna expose him to everyone. But it turns out William Afton abided by the laws of anime and stabbed her 3 times in the back before she even got onto the stage, and she felt that pain like probably many seconds after. It was probably even a minute. I was so shocked by that. And yeah, speaking of William Afton, the amount of aura he carried throughout the film is just absolutely crazy, especially in the dreams and in that flashback scene, which is in the intro of the movie. And another thing, but I want to save the best for last because it was really hype. So as for Charlotte, I'm gonna be honest, the puppet was a really good villain. I genuinely enjoyed the puppet storyline with the way like she's a vengeful spirit and she's going after I think either random parents or parents who she feels are to blame for her death, and she hasn't been blaming William Afton at all, which honestly I feel like that's rather a valid I feel like that's rather valid. I feel like that's okay that she's not blaming William, but she's rather blaming the people who she went to for help and they just straight up refused it. I feel like that was a good, reasonable plot, like a revenge plot for for the puppet. It actually added a lot of depth to her, to her storyline, if I'm gonna be honest. And another thing related to the puppet, that possession part, it was absolutely crazy. She went inside not only Lisa, she went inside Abby next. That was horrifying. Seeing her go inside of Abby, that was absolutely crazy. If I'm going to be honest, I didn't see that coming. But Blumhouse wasn't kidding when they said that no one would receive second chances. But I do believe that changed, and what they meant to say was no one's going to receive any more plot armor. Which, by the way, if I'm gonna be honest, I don't think anyone even received any plot armor. They all had their plot armors lost, or maybe just Mike when he figured out what the purpose of the mask was. But yeah, the ending, it was left on a cliffhanger because Mike told Vanessa to stay away from them after realizing that she has a bigger brother, or just a brother, named who is Michael Afton, by the way. And Michael Afton is working with William Afton. He's trying to carry on his legacy of killing children or people. I'm not really so sure. And I think the puppet and William Afton have the same motive, because now they're just straight up killing people, and now the puppet is just as bad as William Afton is, or maybe even worse, to be honest, because she was just about to kill. She was probably about to have a much larger kill count than William was gonna have. And yeah, in the ending, I think I already mentioned this, but the puppet possessed Vanessa, something I was not expecting to happen. And I was honestly hoping that the movie was gonna be left on a cliffhanger, and it did, because Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is gonna be the last movie for Five Nights at Freddy's. Though I do hope there's more, and here's why. So, here's the second best saving for last. The secret cameo that Piper was talking, that everyone said Piper was excited for, was none other than Circus Baby herself. That's right, Circus Baby. And if I had, oh my god, if I was able to show you guys the image of Circus Baby in the movie, she was beautiful. Like the creature shot, I swear it looks like they just put their hands through the screen and grabbed Baby Yoda and said, "You're going inside of a movie for just a few seconds." Like that model is way too accurate. It's more accurate than Shadow's design. It's more accurate than Mario's design. It's the most accurate thing. It's the most accurate model I've ever seen in any video game movie at all. It's more accurate than Batman from his comic counterpart. Like it was just that good. And now, if I'm gonna be honest, I used to think that maybe William Afton was no, Spring Bonnie was my most favorite model, but no, it's Circus Baby. Circus Baby was perfect. Everything was perfect. Blumhouse hired they hired the right people for the job. The model was just fantastic. I'm glazing it way too much, but you guys will understand if you've seen the movie. The model is absolutely fantastic, and to be honest, it kind of made sense that Circus Baby appeared, because I remember there was this teaser that said that William Afton was trying to take his models to a much upper level, and that was kind of what he was doing in Sister Location. He was taking things to upper level. He made it so that Circus Baby could serve ice cream through her stomach, which is honestly something that he took to next level. And then what else? Yeah, another thing I'm glad about is that Henry Emily wasn't that type of edgy father who's like, "Oh, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, get out of here, I don't want to see you again. Yeah, I don't care if your sister is in trouble, that's your problem, handle it." And then he just overthinks about it, and then he just comes back to save the day. Thank God he wasn't that type of uncle, because that would have been very annoying, honestly, and overused, if that's the correct word for it. It just feels very edgy, and I'm glad that they didn't do that. But I was shocked to see that the original animatronics had returned for a while just to destroy the toy animatronics, not the withers. The withers did not destroy the toy animatronics. The original ones, the ones that were supposedly broken in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, but apparently they were there without a scratch, and they disassembled every single toy animatronic. Now, for anyone that says that that's bad, that's not bad at all. I feel like that was bound to happen eventually, and sure, it was predictable, but I don't mind it. Everyone cheered at the cinema when they were just disassembling every single toy animatronic. It was such an amazing experience. And now for the final post-credits scene. You know, unlike other movies like Marvel or DC movies, whenever you have to wait for a post-credit scene, they always take so long. It's usually like 5-10 minutes later, and then you get to see the post-credit scene. But unlike Five Nights at Freddy's, what they've done, I've highly respected it. They played It's Been So Long, and then after the first segment of the song, they just interrupted it with a lightning crack and cut it to the post-credit scene, where we see Springtrap, who is who's obviously trapped in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and there are some kids that are trying to get him out, because apparently the restaurant was going to be demolished, but they had no idea who was in there, but they were aware of the smell. But I think we're gonna see them die in the next movie, to be honest. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen next, and I don't know if Fazbear's Fright even exists, because apparently Vanessa hasn't been telling Mike anything. Not too much. She hasn't been telling him too much. That's why he told her to just stay away. It's because she's been hiding way too much. But we were all cheering when we just saw Springtrap waking up slowly, and he didn't say anything, and honestly that just showed how damaged he was. Oh yeah, and surprise, Springtrap wasn't yellow. I expected him to be yellow because of how long it had taken, because in 20 years, like when Charlotte got murdered, the first FNAF movie takes place like 20 years later, and the suit was still yellow. So I assumed that maybe it was going to be yellow again, but just maybe a little more withered. But no, Blumhouse decided to go with accuracy, and Springtrap is green. If I'm going to be honest, while he didn't even do much, he just his left eye just turned on. He let out a small breath, a very heavy breath, and moved his head very, very slowly, like as if he was super damaged or something. Now I'm gonna be assuming that since obviously the suit has become this broken, I'm gonna assume that his face also got spring locks as well. I hope that they show that. That's gonna be absolutely insane. Oh, okay. And also, yeah, the post-credit scene was amazing. It was so good. It was super hype. I really hope Blumhouse. You know what? If I could, I would go all the way to wherever Blumhouse studio is and tell them to release Five Nights at Freddy's 3 next year, because I need that third movie right now. And now the last thing that you guys might have missed out on, I missed out on it as well. But apparently there's this post credit, not really a post credit scene, but a post credits voice, where Henry calls Mike and he says something that was from FNAF 6, leaving Dead Space in 3, 2, 1. And then he tells Mike that he has some old equipment that is pretty outdated, but he can use it to stop the marionette, because the marionette is coming for Mike and Abby. But something happens where Henry just gets attacked and the phone call just ends right there. Now people have been theorizing that this is either Springtrap or Circus Baby, or the marionette has killed her own father. Honestly, if I were to guess, I feel like it wouldn't be Springtrap yet, because I feel like it's been way too long since they last met. And plus he just woke up, so I feel like he would take his time to try and, recover from the pain that he's been suffering for over a year. Actually, it's been over a year since he's been in that back room. So I'm gonna bet that Circus Baby, that Circus Baby model better not be thrown into the trash after this movie. I really hope that there is an Elizabeth Afton inside of there, and maybe, just maybe, FNAF 3 is gonna be about Springtrap and the fun times. Maybe he doesn't go to Fazbear's Fright, but maybe he's gonna be going to sister location. I feel like that would make sense because Elizabeth Afton is there, so Circus Baby is there. And yes, I feel like Circus Baby is real, and here's why. It's because those dreams that Vanessa has described, they seem to be flashbacks, at least some part of it. Obviously the part where she shot William Afton surely wasn't real, or maybe it was and he just straight up survived in a fall. If he did, wow, that's actually crazy, if I'm gonna be honest. But Circus Baby is definitely real in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie universe. They need to use Circus Baby. And you know what? Maybe maybe this week, I'll try to predict what's gonna happen in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Because if I'm gonna be honest, I feel so interested in talking about it, especially this movie review, which I feel like I've extended for too long. So you know what? I'm just gonna end it here with saying the movie is absolutely amazing. Screw IGN, screw discussing film for calling it for saying the fandom deserves better when we have enjoyed it so much. This is a movie which is absolutely amazing, and I have had such a fun time watching it. Maybe I think I'll release a video on it tomorrow about what the plot for Five Nights at Freddy's 3 could be, because I think they're still working on it. So I feel like there's a high possibility that Five Nights at Freddy's 3 might come out next year, but very, very late next year, like maybe after a couple of weeks from now, and then next year. If so, that's actually going to be crazy, because then 2026 is going to be stocked with amazing movies. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I'm going to end it off with this movie is amazing. I recommend you guys go watch it for yourselves. You're going to have fun, and I will see you all tomorrow in the next video.